They praise the God save me, right?
Yes, sir. In the trenches, everyone becomes a
Everybody the
theist.
same thing.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Finally, I'm going to ask you to leave the folks at home with a piece of wisdom. Wisdom for the folks at home.
Things that you can't control, not to worry about it. Because if you could control it, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It would be already taken care of. That was the moral of the story she was trying to put to me.
Who is she?
Florence Keywell. She would say, things you can't control, don't worry about it. See, worry is not good for you, period. It's not good for the heart, not good for the person. She always would tell me, things you can't control, not to worry about it. Because if you could control it, you wouldn't have to. So what she means, you wouldn't have to, because it'll be taken care of already, because you control it. But you can't control it, you can't control it. So why worry about it?
That's absolutely brilliant.
That's what she said.
Words to live by.
Yeah. Try not to worry about it. But, you know, in reality, you think about things, it's still worry. That's life. You can't control it, but you can try not to worry. She's just trying to give you consolation. It's not to worry about it. Because if you couldn't do it, control it, you wouldn't have to. That's what she would always say. Florence Keywell, she was a lady that inspired me. She used to talk about New York a lot, and politics, and talk about how she was raised up. She was Jewish. She just was good people.
She lifted you up with her involvement in your life.
Yes, well, she taught me a lot about business because she was a buyer. We kept track of things, and she read a lot. She tried to know what's going on, be a part of what's going on in her surroundings, know what's going on in politics, with the city, or with people, period. She was just into that. I learned a lot from her. She read a lot, the papers like New York Times. She talked about people that was doing things. I guess I haven't, first time I was around anybody who did anything like that, because where I came from, it wasn't like that. We have to do down there. Up here, I used my imagination, and we put our work together, and so it worked. She didn't know. We never did this before. We just used our common sense, find out what people want, and everything they want to know what they talk about. And in fact, in the music, we was talking about music. If anybody want to know about music, we write it down. And if they ask about something, we write it down, and let's see what they talk about.
That was the only way to keep track, or otherwise you'd forget.
How are you gonna know it? And when we first got to hear it, was no radio. Where you gonna hear it from? They had this jukebox at different nightclubs, places where maybe a hamburger place, you might have a jukebox in there, and people dance in front of the seatbelt all night with juke joint. They call them juke joint. That's what they call. You hear music, and you don't hear what that man put on that machine. How many it take? 50 records? I don't know. It take 50, and it costs a dime or whatever. How much you pay? You pay $3. I don't know what. I didn't play the jukebox.
You owned a record store. You didn't need to.
Well, when I was growing up, find out what they were. Well, see, when I started school, I was about 8 years old. They had one downtown in Strong when I first started school. There was a little bus station. The place is about half big as this room. There was a sea bus sitting over there, a big jukebox, and a counter across there where the school is. And that's all the big it was. There's a couple of seats around there. You can get a bowl of chili and a hamburger. A hot dog. That's all you could get. A bowl of chili, a hot dog, a hamburger.
Thank you very much, Mr. Canady. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.